Okay, step 1. Go to FileHippo, download the latest version of VLC Media Player, 32 or 64-bit depending on what operating system you have, and you can find that by hitting the Windows key and pause, and this lovely window comes up and tells you right about down here in the middle what type of system you have, 64-bit or 32-bit. Alright, now install that sucker, and while you're doing that, go to umediaserver.net/umediaserver/download.html and go scrolling down until you get to the screen capture direct show source filter. And again, this is the 32-bit version, this is a 64-bit version. Download whichever works for you. Boom. Start VLC. Alright, here we are. Basic VLC media player. Turn off some things you won't see when you get here. Okay. So, go to the media menu. Open a capture device. We have all kinds of fun, scary buttons and options here. Matter of fact, that won't show up either. Alright, so here we go. First things first. Capture mode. You want direct show. That is the Windows interface that gives you basically a direct pipe into the video stream. You want to go over to the video device name and make sure you picture Screen Capture, which we just installed. Now, we want to go ahead and let the audio device to be default unless you know specifically which device you have. Especially if you have multiple devices, it might be helpful to just go ahead and pick the one you want to be your microphone. Okay, now we're going to show more options. There's some lovely cryptic looking variables down in here, and we need to add one of our own, which is going to be dshow aspect ratio equals, and we're going to make that whatever the horizontal width of your monitor in pixels, whatever its ratio to the vertical number of pixels you have. So if you take the horizontal resolution, divide it by the vertical resolution, and let's say you get 1.6, you get a 16 to 10 ratio. That backslash is really important. It tells VLC that this colon is not the beginning of another variable, like the live variable here, or this dshow variable here, or other dshow variable here. Very important. Do not forget this. But anyway, if you're doing 720p or 1080p, your ratio is going to be 16 to 9. If you're doing 640 by 480 or 1024 by 768, your ratio is going to be 4 to 3. So just adjust that accordingly. Otherwise, when you replay your videos, they will be squished or stretched because the default is 4 to 3. So you make sure you set that. Alright, we're golden there. Now we want to come back up to the top under device selection and configure Screen Capture. You'll see it picks up the resolution of your monitor automatically. You want to make sure and see which monitor you're going to be using to capture. I'm running 2 right now, so the one that you don't see at the moment is on the right. You're going to want to capture the full screen, or you can uncheck this and use the XY coordinates to pick out a rectangular segment of your screen. Let's say I wanted to only select this section here. I would just start the left top X and Y coordinates wherever I wanted them. But we're going to capture full screen. We're also going to capture the cursor. I find that if I turn the cursor off and then windows start magically moving and buttons are magically being clicked and text starts being magically typed wherever. So it's very confusing for anyone to watch. So we're going to go ahead and click apply and OK, and we are done here at this screen. So next thing, come down to the play menu, come down and click on convert, because we want to convert. We want to convert the stream that Screen Capture is getting into a file. Right, and for today's purposes we're going to use an MP4 file. We are going to go with the H.264 protocol, and I am going to switch the audio from this default setting here to MP4 audio as well. So what we need to do, if we go in here, all kinds of fun settings to tweak. Now, for you guys, you're going to want to go ahead over to the right and click this button. This is a new profile. So I have already got one that I've set up. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click the Edit Settings to show you what you can do. So I've gone over here under the Encapsulation tab and picked MP4/MOV. Encapsulation means what sort of file extension and what sort of file is the operating system going to see. And inside is where the video and audio live. So it's like a shell. The MP4 file is a shell around video and audio streams of various sorts. So I'm going to click on the in your new profile form, you're going to click on the video codec tab, enable video with a checkbox, and then pick H.264. H.264 is what most video these days is encoded in, and it's very space efficient and high quality, so that's why I choose it. I'm also going to set this to be 1 megabyte a second. That's 1,000 kilobit, 1 megabit, 1,000 kilobits. And under the frame rate, I'm going to set the frame rate for 15 frames per second, which is about half of what normal video is for the human eye, but if you're just doing a two-dimensional screen share, it's more than sufficient. And we don't have to mess with the resolution settings down here. Those are fine the way they are. Now we're going to go into the audio codec tab. You need to enable audio. You're going to want to choose either MP3 or MPEG-4 or whatever to use with the MP4 or the MPEG-4 video. I chose MPEG-4 audio because it's got better compression schemes as far as I've been able to tell. I could be wrong about that, but that's what I use. And then you're going to want to set the bit rate on that. 128 kilobits per second is pretty good. That's what most MP3 files are encoded in and have been since the late 90s. Very little artifacts and anti-aliasing going on in there. I'm doing 2 channels of audio because even though my microphone is mono, I want its sound coming out of both speakers. And at the sample rate, 48,000 is more than the human ear can determine a difference in as far as quality. 44 is about the height of it, and 22 is good compromise for space saving. Anything lower, you're talking like telephone quality here, so don't do garbage. 44 is probably something really good to record in. I'm just going to choose 22 for the sake of video size. And VLC also supports subtitle files. Those have to be timed with the video and audio. It's a little bit tricky, so play with that if you like, if you want to watch foreign films and make your own subtitles. So then you save those settings. And the next most important thing to do is create a file. So I've got a folder where I like to keep my screen captures, and you should probably put them somewhere easily accessible so you don't have to click too many times. The default it uses, VLC uses the program folders file where it is installed, and that's not the best place to store your data. So go ahead and just pick your videos folder or your documents folder and put it wherever you want, just for the sake of being getting easy access to your files. So I'm just going to go ahead and call this one tutorial. And one trick, you have to put the .mp4 extension at the end of this file. You must. And if you're opening this thing and you don't see any .mp4, any file extensions when you normally browse your computer, you're going to have to put that in quotes, because that means that you have extensions, viewing of extensions of known file types turned off in Windows. I would recommend turning that on. It's really helpful to prevent accidentally opening files that may have viruses in them because they have fake extensions. And you don't have to use quotes when you're creating files with extension names. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. Boom. And what I would do now is I'm not going to complete this process because I'm already working on recording this screen in another window. I am going to go ahead and click Start. Boom. This window would disappear. You would see some things kind of going along here. A timer, for instance, in the corner would be showing how much time things have been passed. So here's the deal. we are going to go ahead and pretend that we're finished recording whatever it is on whatever monitor, and we're going to hit stop. Stop tells VLC to stop the stream, stop recording, and finish converting the audio and video into the final product. And you'll be able to see that in your folder where you keep your videos. And so my file will show up here as soon as I press stop on the recording that I've done, and I'll be able to take a look at it. So I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you very much for your time and attention. Have a good one.